California health officials urging people to stop vaping following reports of serious lung illnesses.
Fox 5 legal analyst Wendy Patrick joins us now. And Wendy, okay, this comes as federal prosecutors in California, they just launched a criminal investigation into Juul, the e-cigarette maker. The CEO just stepped down of Juul. They're stopping all advertising. Things are happening, but what does it all mean?
No, it's all happening at once. You're
Right.
absolutely right. You know, Juul has been referred to as the iPhone of e-cigarettes. They are often looked at as one of the most successful brands and one of the brands that's purchased most frequently.
Right.
Parents across the nation are now looking in their children's backpacks wondering if that's really a USB drive or if it's a Juul cigarette. They're odorless, they're ashless, they're easily concealable. We've basically undone decades worth of progress in getting kids off of nicotine with the advent of Juul. That is one of the reasons why these mystery lung ailments are getting as much press as they are. Cigarettes remain on the shelves. We've studied those for years and we understand how they affect the body pretty well. Juul cigarettes, not so much. And it is alarming to see that they're not exactly sure why they are having these sudden lung ailments among young people.
And it happens so quickly. Cigarette smoking, we knew over time, 10, 20, 30, 40
That's
years
right.
of smoking, it messes up your... This is happening in a couple of months, a year of use, and suddenly your lungs start to, 15-year-olds with the lungs of a 70-year-old.
Yes, that's right. And that was actually one of the civil lawsuits. An 18-year-old in Illinois was diagnosed with the lungs of a 70-year-old.
Wow.
And then the question becomes, why? Now, let me toss something in here, though. Most of those cases involve vaping THC. So there's more to the story. Nonetheless, regardless of what you're vaping, whether it's just nicotine or whether it's THC, there's something in the process that is very, very dangerous. So they can't be marketed as the lesser of two evils, as a safe alternative if they're not safe.
I can think of multiple occasions that I had conversations with some young kids who were trying to convince, it's safe. This is like the best thing. It's not cigarettes.
That's the way they were marketed, and that's the reason that there's both a federal criminal probe and these civil lawsuits.
So let's talk a little bit about this criminal investigation. What are they focusing on, and what are these civil lawsuits about?
Well, the criminal probe is looking into really the advertising, the marketing. Were they misleading? Did they withhold information? The civil is sort of the same type of thing, is that you marketed this, you targeted our teens with flavors like gummy bear, unicorn, things that clearly weren't designed for adult smokers trying to kick the habit of cigarettes, which is of course what Juul says they were marketing it to. So it's kind of very similar when you look at both of those. But I gotta say, Juul has really stepped up in terms of not so much admitting guilt, but saying we admit there's a problem.
Sure.
Remember, the president advocated not this time travel ban, but a flavor ban. And Juul basically didn't fight back. And many states and cities and municipalities have already taken it upon themselves to take those things off the shelves. We saw even Walmart last week, no more e-cigarettes. So it's really gaining a lot of traction.
The CEO stepping down, that was a big deal, because the new guy saying we're stopping advertising, like you said, we're not going to fight anything Washington is trying to do by banning these the flavors here in the U.S. So where do they go from here? Do they just sit back, stop selling their products, or do they just not advertise? Or what's next for this company that's become so huge?
And to continue what he's asking, is by doing this them kind of going, yeah, we shouldn't have done this stuff? Like, they maybe know that this was bad and they got caught?
You know, I think that both of you ask really good questions, because Juul is in the same scenario as many of us and not exactly knowing what went wrong. That's the problem. However, what they do know is the way they advertised. And they probably, in retrospect, and this goes right to your question about why the CEO stepped down, there certainly were aspects to their advertising that they know, or at least they could see the argument that was targeting teens. If you're advertising a product designed to wean somebody off of cigarettes, you don't market it to somebody who's never smoked a cigarette. So that's a big problem.
And then you see the involvement. When you get to the higher ups, you see there's a lot of tobacco industry executives with that experience still kind of running that show,
and they remember,
with the same strategies, and then let's get...
They remember how that went, and this is seemingly similar so far. We'll see how it pans out.
So far. Wendy Patrick, thank you.
Thank you.